Hi everybody! Welcome back to our wizard show. We are missing some lights here. Oh, this did not go according to plan. Nope. Nope. Okay, well our intro just got ruined. Anyways, so it's been a while since I've been online. May have remembered or recalled some of that. Oops, why did I delete that? We are up to a crazy start today. So we're just gonna call this plain background just to give us some stuff. So today I thought we would just do a little chill and hang out and like modeling and crafting and whatever. So currently I'm just gonna put this in a rendering folder. Now render backdrops. I'll just say backdrops. Yeah. Oh, I recall what this was. This was for the tree. Dude, it was just a few days that I was working on all this. Boom. Tree. Tree. Another tree. Another tree. And another tree. So those are really easy to make. So you can find plenty of tutorials online to make those. I'm not going to show you how to make fun trees. It's really just experimenting and having fun. This is our tree camera, so we want that to be with our trees. And so today we are going to be working on this guy and his okay. So we are going to be working on his layer, his first floor of the tower. Now our plan is potentially something like this. But we're also thinking it would be really cool to line it up with our chakra system. Here's all of our notes that we've been taking, and a wizard must have a herb garden, obviously. How else is he going to heal himself, right? So we have our rough block mapped out for our character here, and then we can give him a... Why does this look like the uncompleted version? It's because I don't have enough frames here. And because I'm hiding a whole particle system on him. Wiz background. Ah, here we go. Boom! Now we have our... This is what I wanted to do the intro with. Oops. Pause! Okay, this is what I wanted to do the intro with. Something really spicy and dicey. But, and just to give you a idea of like what we were working with here. A shot would have looked something like 1920 or 1920, something like this would have been the shot, but we did some rendering on that. So anyways, we're gonna take the super graphics heavy item out of here, and okay, so everything is constrained to there. I'm gonna go ahead and add a controller to him because we want to control our wizard. I like putting it roughly around the base of where it would potentially be. And then I like doing an octagon here. So an octagon controller. So a lot of this work is being done for Indefinitely Wrong, and currently we are on a borrowed computer, which is okay. I mean, like, not everybody has like amazing access to crazy high graphics all the time. And that's okay. So, this is pretty, well, I mean, maybe mesh dense for some people, but like, you could technically turn this down and make a low poly version pretty easy. I could turn off subdivide and then the mesh gets simplified like that. Usually what I like to do is I like to start off with a base, and since we need some nice fancy, and rename this to wizard controller, and then we're gonna hide him. And normally what I like to do is make my controllers invisible by putting it under a handy dandy do not render. Voila, I go to render, it's done. Some of you might actually want screencast tools on here because I might go too fast. Let's see if this works. You can work, I believe in it. since we're doing more fun stuff. Let's see if this works. Where are you? Controllers! Well, whatever. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Oh, hey, there we go. We have it. Okay, cool. So now you can see what I'm pressing. Yay. Oh, one other thing is we want to relabel our folder. I'm going to do it up by 2 because sometimes I open the old folders, make adjustments to old folders. And that could be as simple as rendering. Anyways, so we need to put this in here. Pop. Now we're going to open up our first floor of our entire mansion. Take off anything we don't want to render. And we're going to render the first floor here, not our wizard right now. So our first floor is something like this. A really simple, easy, plain room. I do want to use the wizard as a template. So we're going to kind of move them around the room, fix them to the floor to approximate height. It doesn't have to be perfect, but this is kind of our estimate of the size of him. Now, if we want to get the size without the stilts, we put them down like this. So easy controller. And then we have fun. I like animating as I go along. And then for the hat, if some of you are wondering how to make a stylized hat, it's pretty simple. You do basically, I'll just show you. I do an octagon shape usually for most things because this is indefinitely wrong. So it's either octagon, infinity signs, or circles for the most part. And then usually I just do a cube, then bevel it out from there, and then I can do whatever I want with it. Or I'll do a plane and start off with a bevel, and then I'll change it to vertices so I can get that, and then I'll do a solidify modifier, and then I'll go ahead and bevel that. And then if I want to do any other cool forms, I could shrink wrap it, stretch it, taper it, whatever. You know, there's plenty of controls. That's simple deform right there, and you can get really fun shapes out of that. I kind of like the shape of this already, so I'm gonna go ahead and apply the first modifier, so that way I can make this a hollow kind of donut looking thing, whatever it is, and then we can modify this to be what we want. And then we add one more. So if I want my models to remain low poly, usually what I'll do is I'll do this, and then I might do, nah, I like it flat. The flat mod works a lot better. Or you could just do a subdivision and then see which one ends up looking less messed up. So that doesn't look too dense. And if we want to control our angles and stuff, we could do that. But honestly, I like the first one, so we're gonna go back to flat. What are we gonna use this object for? We don't know. We're just gonna put in random objects. Inspiration for later. Perhaps it's an indoor planter or something, and then we just put a little tree in it. You know what? Now that I have the idea, I'm just gonna actually do that. I'm gonna make a tree. Ah! Oops. Okay, well, we're gonna hide everything, because apparently for some reason, and this is an older version of Blender, and this is like 3.6 or something, it does this. So anyways, I'm gonna load a preset of something like this. Geometry, bevel resolution, put it at 2, branch rings 2, put 3 up here. Ooh, that kind of looks fun. Then we can go in here and do that. Branches. What happens if I do this? And then I up these. Up these. Oh, we got a lot of lag. Oh, I actually kind of like the way that looks. So then, this is just a real quick plant, not a big deal. And we just do show leaves. Oh gosh, that is too many leaves. Too many leaves. We'll do 22 and see where that's at. It's better. Do 8. Better. Always check the leaves because it seems to want to go to 150 first, and sometimes that seems to be a little problematic. Scale X. You know what? We'll do 0.2 and see what that looks like. I'm kind of happy with that, so we're going to use this as a base mesh. Take in one of our leaf material. We'll call it indoor leaf. So that way I have a clear distinction between all of my plants. And I want to do a nice rich green. Nice rich green. And then we'll do a tree. See if we can get a nice tree bark color. Indoor. Oops. Tree. It is highly important to label all of your trees and building materials as you go. And since this is a wizard's house, I can make this like tree any color I want to make it. Have fun with it. You never know, you might actually find some of these out in the wild. And then out in the real world, as they call it. I like that, and then maybe a little bit of, just a little bit of metallic here. The metallic will give it a nice sheen when lights are on it. So that looks pretty good. And let's go ahead and reestablish this. So there we go. We have our indoor planter here. I want to reduce this solidify because this is a bit too much. And then I'll also add in a, I like doing a plane honestly, because, and then I go in here and boom, boom, and then I pop this up and then I shade it smooth. Oops, shade smooth, and then we have our dirt basically. If I want to make it more fun, then I come in here and I just do new and then, you know, make it. So that's displace and then a texture map. Get to the texture by clicking on this little weird thingy here, and then go back to the wrench. Okay, so yeah. And then if we want to make it fancier, we just do a solidify, or a solidify. Ooh, actually that is a cool idea. I'm gonna do something really weird. Really, really weird. Are you guys ready for this one? This one's gonna be weird. So duplicate, and this is gonna be our indoor tree dirt 1. So this one we want to be pretty close to normal dirt, and then this one's gonna be tree plant and indoor tree. Indoor tree, thank you. Glass 1. Sometimes I'll do like 1.01. Oops. Because when you do the plus here on the duplicate thing, it will always add the 0.001 unless you change it in your settings. So fun stuff. Anyways, let's see how this is looking. And then I want to add an alpha hash, alpha blend, and then let's just snag one of these planters over here and do indoor planter. Now I am making a distinct. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, indoor tree planter. Come on, labels, buddy, labels. I'm trying to do a very distinct difference between all of my indoor outdoor plants. So that way, like the garden here, all of my trees are very organized in a different folder. And then I have the outside of the tower and the inside of the tower all in one folder. So that way I can also compare. Because sometimes I like to get a little picky of like, does this actually fit within this tower? And then like, I can also go into walk mode. I love this mode. Like I could go into walk mode and walk around my building. So if I want to make this an actual game asset and stuff like that, I can set up my preferences here. It's in navigation at the bottom here, fly and walk mode. So I like the walk mode because I can walk through everything, and then you can get your speed factors here of what you want. And I'll leave that here. So 10 meters per second is what I like. It's kind of a nice medium walk maybe, and then 0.8 is like a good, not too sensitive for the mouse. And then I do have jump height, but it doesn't really work. It works more like a grapple on this version. And then view height, I set it for the mini sticks, my characters. So I'll go ahead and show you my mini sticks. And then we will hide everything else. So these are mini sticks. What the heck happened with this tree? Yeah, whatever. Check that out, mini sticks. So I'll show you a comparison real quick. And these are the original mini sticks. So you know they're to scale. Check it out. Mini sticks. And then if I just play the animation, I can walk around with a little bit of lag. Meet the team! So there you guys go. Here's another teaser of what I'm currently working on. Anyways, back to fun stuff. And random objects. We're gonna put this as indoor. Oh my gosh. Indoor tree. Okay, so I'll hide our actors. I put them as actors because it's fun to have your preset characters, you know, inside. Dude, I might as well just move this to like ceiling or something because it gets in the way so much. Inside. So that will make it to where it's a lot easier to work on this thing. Okay, so isn't there a masking mode in here or something? Yeah, I mean there is a masking mode, but like I could also just do this and then hide part of it. Only in edit mode though, but I could also just do whatever. Anyways, so we want to add some lights to here. A nice fun spotlight would be really pretty. And then we'll just up this till we start seeing some lights. 888. Expand it a little bit more. And then custom distance, because I don't want to light up the entire building with this spotlight. So we'll do something like this is probably pretty good. And then we can get a nice fade in here. And then we'll change this back to global, duplicate Z, Shift Z, rotate Z. And then this one will be different colored light. Look at that. We can even play with light colors. We get some fun. Oh, that's kind of fun. All right, so I'm gonna go with more of this color because I think that's pretty fun. Okay, so now we need to add our cube, and since we already adjusted this, save it real quick. We can do a copy rotation and copy the rotation of our light. I might as well hide this. So boom, we can hide that. My ear finally just got unplugged. Wow. We could delete this. And then we could just do a bevel. And then solidify. And then we do a simple deform. No. You can get a twisting light if you want. And then at that rate, if you do a twisting light, it's really useful to do something like this. And then you do metal. I'll do planter. Planter makes more sense. Really shiny planter. You could do something like that. Voila! You get a cool light. And then you have this. So notice how there's an empty void in here? So we would do something like this. Add a cube. You know what? We just take this, duplicate it, delete everything here, and then add your bevel to 0.6. And then, since we deleted this, so how I quickly go back and forth between vertex, edge, and faces is 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So that's how easy it is. And then we take this, size it down, because we want to have a really cool spotlight. And then we're going to do a light. We'll call it spotlight. We like using keywords for naming things, so if we ever have to look it up, because we could get like crazy amount of things in here, we might not be in the same mindset for thinking. So yeah. And then I like doing this. I can just copy the hex code over. The magical hex code, because it's magic that you could get the same color somehow. And then just for extra details in case there's anybody that walks up to it and like stares into the light. Just do that. Because think about it. It's pretty cool to look straight into the light. And then we'll turn this to alpha hash. Down this. Actually, you know what? So we don't have any lag issues with this at all. We'll do this. And then blend mode, alpha blend. Okay. Notice how we're getting into this issue right here. There we go. Boom. Boom. Turn this up to 8. Or you could crank it all the way up. Whatever you want for your spotlight, because you could do like crazy high. You could do like infinite. There is a limit though. There is a limit. Yeah, I kind of like it this way. It's not too bright, but it gives enough of a look there. Now, I actually do not want this so mess dense, so I'm going to take this off. Because I wanted to do something totally different. That's kind of fun. I still wanted to do different shape. We could do another one. And taper off the angle that we wanted to do. It was a bit. I thought it was taper. That was bit. Ah, here we go. So then we can kind of get some fun shapes here. Now I am going to want to concentrate this on here. Ah! So parent these, Control P, Control P. But before we do that, we need to apply our copy rotation. And we need to apply this copy rotation. And then we could go back to local. And we can kind of rotate it. Oh, that did not deform how we wanted it to. Ah, There we go. So we'll just put it at 63 degrees. And then add one last little bevel. So that way we can catch the light. Now there's a huge difference here on how this catches the light. Notice that difference? That highlight right there? It looks very flat like this and not finished. So just by adding a little bit of bevel, you add a little bit of realism no matter how low poly it is. And that's what we want. So this looks a little weird. We're just gonna turn this down just a little. There's just something about it looking like liquid. It's kind of a fun idea here. Ooh, we can make it more like liquid. And then to get more of a, so in this case, I would just take out the displace just to make it look nice. And then I would go into coloring and add a nice bump map just to give it a little bit of texture here. And then go into mapping and then texture. Oops, and then we hit Shift Z if we, or Shift C if we ever need to go into a different mode here. Why do I feel like this is still weird? So at that rate, like, we just get rid of this, pop this back down. I want a little bit of, just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, and then we add wave texture, Z, rings, and then ideally we target this, bring object in here, put this here, put this there. I thought I changed it to Z into X for some reason. And then we go into, you know what, we'll just put it in the color. We'll put it in the color real quick just to see what we're working with. And then we'll go bump. Okay, so we're working with some really funness here. So let's add some distortion. Take this down because we don't actually turn up our detail scale. What happens if we do a different shape here? So it's kind of just playing with fun stuff. Spear, what does this spear do? Very weird. And then saw gives us more of a sharp edge. Ooh, that looks really fun. Okay. So then we could take this, plug it down here, plug this into here, and then we get our bump. Now, if you're working with low graphics, don't do this. Okay, and then we turn the clear coat up. We turn it metallic up. And then it should take a little bit of time to render. There we go. So now we're working with something. At that rate, we could, if we turn the alpha all the way up, what does it look like? It looks like metal. It's a plant on metal. It's kind of funny. But I want it to be see-through. So I'm gonna do this. And then, well, I might be want to slow down just a little bit. And then if we turn this on. I'm kind of liking around in there. I'm gonna add a, just so I can see what's going on here. And if you add a orb of light, you can kind of see what's going on here. And if we end up liking it, I'm liking somewhere around here. I will say that I want to do because this is going to be our little thing that goes around it and looks so cute. Is there a little lamp? Typically bevel the main one, then solidify it. Go into this, but you see no little glass. I have 8 glass in here. No, crystal. What did I use for the wizard staff? Orb. Orb, glass, gem, crystal. In case I end up looking up any of those, I need to reference that material. Okay. I really like the way this one looks, so I'm gonna do this. See if we can do metal. This one looks fun. Metal. So I like jumping back and forth between all my moves. So I can verify everything. And this one I like to be really smooth. So typically on metals and stuff, I will take more time to make it look better. And then if I want to, I can add a wireframe to it. Check that out. Doesn't that look cool? It's like, where's the light source at? Oh, or you could do this. Anyways. Oh, imagine that. Still looks really cool regardless. I like. This is that point where I'm gonna create more of these. And then for this one, I'm just gonna say material 1. Sometimes I can't decide. Sometimes for this tree, for sure. This one for this tree. So now we just created a bunch more assets that we can move these into anti-lights. And so we created this really cool tree. Move it to indoor tree. What? And then move this into our indoor tree folder. Indoor sounds like a game. Anyways, so that's about it for our quick workflow. Sure, we hope you enjoyed this video. And it is 10:10, so I'm gonna call it good for this video, and we'll see you in the next one, whatever that is.